Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. I have a lot to go over in this video, so please feel free to pause the video whenever or go back and listen. So I'm just going to get right into it. I took 3 trades today, but I saw a lot more than 3 setups. I just was in class, I was busy. Time difference really sucks here again. I'm studying abroad. I'm in Spain, which has been awesome. But anyway, enough of me. I'm just going to get right into it, into the first lesson that we have of the day. We have Overstock. The key level was 108.73, that general area. You can see that we've been having resistance here for quite a bit. Excuse me. And so I would have taken the break of that. However, incorrect. I would have taken it right before the break. And the reason why I'm saying that is look at this volume spike. Just want to point out this is some weird volume. I've never seen this before where it's like 2 bars spike, 2 bars calm, 2 bars spike, 2 bars calm. It's really weird. I've never seen it. But anyway, so yeah, look at this. Huge volume spike, huge volume spike. I would have gotten in right here as soon as I see VVM coming in, anticipating the break of this 108.73 area-ish. And I would have gotten in, let's say, around 1.9. I didn't take this trade, by the way. Just going over it. Let's say 1.9 I got in. And at the top, if I saw, scale 1 right as we get this push, to be honest, because we get that premium spike. And this is huge, a huge important lesson here. Look at this. Let's say I would have held. And let's say I would have shot up again. I held and this would have shot up again. My contracts would have been the same price. Or even less, actually. Even less. 2.2 instead of 2.25. You may be asking, well, why? This is literally like almost 50 cents higher than this. And that's because of the Greeks. And part of it has to be because you want to anticipate the premium spike. And that's what it is. What happened here was we got VVM, there's interest. So when we see VVM, that means there's interest in this level, in this area, in this break. And when that happens, the premiums are going to spike, retail is going to chase, and that's just going to inflate the premiums. Hence why this is higher or a better premium than this. So even if I held, another 50 cents, I would have had to recover, all this, because you can see that premiums dropped significantly, about 50 cents from, low to high. But that's irrelevant for now. But the lesson here is it's okay to anticipate the break of a level as long as you see VVM coming in as strong as this. So, the trade, obviously didn't work out or complete the way I wanted it to. But if I scaled one here, maybe it would have been a break-even trade. Maybe it would have been small green. And that's the kind of trade that's okay. Because some days or some trades, you're going to have trades like Roblox. And I'm going to go over Roblox in just a moment. But just to reiterate this lesson, if you see this VVM coming in, feel free to anticipate the break. It's got to have good VVM because that means there's interest at this level. There's interest anticipating the break. Retail traders are going to chase. This was also, I think it was not all-time high, but anticipating, I guess. But you can see that there was a lot of, there's a seller sitting up here. But you get the idea. Anticipating that premium spike. So it's all about capitalizing on these premium spikes. So that's good for that one. Roblox, and here is RBLX. And this one I'm kicking myself over because I had this planned out perfectly. Did not take it because I had class. And I actually brought my laptop to class to trade. Don't tell my professor. And I was kind of freaking out, and I'll tell you why in a sec. But I'll go over the trade. So over RBLX. So I had this 1 hour fresh demand zone here. And that was the plan, or one of the plans, I should say, to take it off of this, used fresh demand. And what this acted as this is exactly, picture perfect setup. I, wrote this in my pre-market plan or in my notes that I wanted to see a pullback into this demand zone to gather more orders. And that is a huge confirmation to gather more orders or, collect, whatever you want to call it, get more orders to, gear the strength higher, gear some strength to push the all-time high break. And that's exactly what we had today. And look at this. We absolutely exploded. Excuse me. We were also anticipating this daily RBNR along with other RBNR speculations. So it would have been acceptable to get long in this demand zone. And you could have easily gotten long, here as soon as we were coming out of this demand zone with a stop below low of day. Short would have been like $1 or $2. So maybe, depending on your risk tolerance. But yeah, I was actually in class and I was looking at this 5-minute RBNR. And I honestly don't know why I didn't take it. I'm kicking myself over it. You know, why? It's perfect. You know, I was literally had so many confirmations. VWAP, you know, decent volume actually. I had this new indicator actually that I'm just trying out today. It tells me the average of the last 30 bars, you know, how it compares to. So it tells me if VVM is dying out or if, you know, volume is increasing. So it's actually kind of cool. And I don't know why I didn't take this. I just hesitated. Well, I'll tell you why. I was in class. And I was so scared that the professor was going to be like, oh, you know, put your laptops away. And I was going to be in the middle of a position. And then I would have been like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom just so I can manage this trade. So that was freaking me out. I didn't know why, but I actually took 3 trades in class. So don't tell my professor. But anyway, yeah, so this was beautiful. Another spot I could have gotten long was, you know, right at this multi-RBNR confirmation break. We had VVM coming in. Look at this again. We had huge volume spike. You can anticipate this break. You can anticipate the 109.5 key level break. So there was so many entries on this RBLX play. And yeah, we had VVM anticipate this spike. I'll actually just go full screen now with this one. And this was an absolute monster. It went to 120.83 contracts. You know, I think we're up like a couple 100%, 300%. It was quite nuts, and I'm really, you know, still kicking myself for not taking it or not being around to take it, I should say, because I really can't be upset. You know, school is first, of course. But this is what you look for. VVM coming in, boom. RBNR, you know, not the best volume you want to see, but we had confirmation over here. You know, volume spiked. And we had this rocket ship technique that I love. You know, when we dip down a little bit, fuel, get some gas to the rocket ship higher. And boom, we took off, and that was a beautiful, beautiful executed trade if I took it. I didn't take that one because I think I was in another one. So the first trade I did take in class. Just want to make sure. Oh, actually, I want to go over Zoom real quick. Zoom I missed because I was on the metro to class. I watched this happen in real time, which was really frustrating. But you can see that it was kind of holding value. You know, we were kind of weak in the market was kind of weak, but you can see that we kind of had this little mini range here. This is some weird volume actually. This is really weird. But I guess you could have, you know, it's possible you could take this, just not the best volume at all. But the level I had was 264.56 or 66, that area. And again, we had this rocket ship technique with VWAP, you know, holding us here. So you could have taken it here. It's possible I would have stopped out, to be honest. It's possible. But if my risk was below VWAP or something, that's possible as well. If I stopped out here, you want to look for that re-entry, and boom, we got that. You know, volume again isn't the best, but you can kind of see we're increasing here. You know, I don't know if I would have taken it just because of the VVM, but, you know, just going to explain the entries. And in 3 minutes, we hit the price target. But, you know, the volume wasn't there, but we had volatility and momentum. You can see these thick-bodied candles. So, you know, we had VM, not VVM. But, you know, definitely good area to get long here. So just a, you know, a trade that I missed out on. As soon as I see this candle, you can even, you know, no volume, but heavy buying pressure. That means there's just a giant buyer here. Just not enough volume, which was unfortunate. So yeah, that's that trade. Worked out beautifully, and then we kind of sold off for the day. So I missed that one. That would have been a nice trade. First trade I took in class was on Microsoft. And Microsoft didn't work out how I wanted it to. But that's what happens. But I think I did really well managing this trade. I'll go back in a 5-minute chart just because I take all my trades on a 5-minute. Don't really look at a 1 minute. So initially, excuse me, I looked at this and, you know, I completely missed this. So it's possible I would have taken this trade here, anticipating the breakout, but we actually rejected this key level perfectly. We had a daily RBNR. I'll just go here, anticipating all-time high break, and boom, look at that. We kind of exploded again today. So yeah, we had a key level here at 337.5, and we rejected it once, and we've been seeing a lot in this market where if it rejects once early, we're going to see it get tested again only to work out, and that actually just happened 3 times today. We kind of had this wedge pattern forming, and this, oh wow, I'm actually just noticing this. Let's see if you guys see it before I draw it out. We had this wedge here. This is actually really interesting. And look at that. Look what corresponded with the wedge. VVM. Look at that. To our price target. And I said this in an earlier video. If your target has not been reached, look for an entry. This would have been a beautiful entry. We had this nice hammer above this, level here, this key level here. And VVM started to come in. You could have gotten long here and boom, it would have been a nice little scalp. Anticipating the all-time high premium spike. So that would have been a huge entry. So anyway, I took my entry here. Sorry for rambling. I entered here, so right here. Right before this, because I saw VVM coming in. And I entered a little bit prematurely, and I was expecting it to run up, and unfortunately we didn't get that, which was really unfortunate. And then I skipped, but I did scale one immediately, just to protect myself because I was in class. Keep in mind I was in class, and I wanted to protect myself and kind of just secure profits. Was not big at all. Was not a lot at all. And I did not like this doji candle. Actually, I don't even think it was that. That was not my exit. I apologize for that. So let's get rid of that. My exit was like right around here. I saw we were struggling. VVM kind of died out, which is not what you want to see. And NQ was also at this, supply zone, which I'll get to in a sec. So I wanted NQ to back this one up as well. And then I just sold the other one for nearly break even once we kind of came below this level. So I managed this trade really, really nicely. Just unfortunate that didn't work out. You can clearly see that it worked out later, and I should have been looking for another entry with VVM, and that's what happened. We had VVM later in the day. All right, the next two trades I want to go over. We're on QQQ, and this is the reason why I stopped trading for the day, and I'll go over that in a sec. I got really creeped out. So here, excuse me, I took the puts here in fresh 2 hour supply. We did go through this 1 hour supply. We were kind of strong. We were kind of chopping around. Sellers weren't really responsive, but I took the first one here. It was kind of a failed, excuse me, a failed RBNR, and then I got stopped out here. So I'll just make this in a different color real quick so you guys can follow along. Orange is, I got stopped out there, so very small risk, very, tight management. And then I said, okay, here's another important lesson for you guys. Just because you get stopped out doesn't mean you have to go cry to a wall about it, right? Look for another entry. Look for a re-entry. And if you're stopped out again, well, clearly it wasn't, it just didn't work out, or maybe reevaluate and see what's going on here. I looked for the re-entry. I saw that we double topped in supply. We had a failed RBNR. We had Carmine preaches this all the time. When we fail high of day in supply, it is super bearish. And we had this, this little, I don't know what you want to call it, inverse hammer candle, shooting star, I forget exactly the technical term, but I entered right here on this blue arrow. Again, I saw, all right, there's a seller here, so I'm still not out, and my target was VWAP. However, I was in class, and the lights just shut off, the power went out, and for whatever reason, at the same time, my Wi-Fi was still going, but at the same time, Thinkorswim kind of crashed. It froze completely, and it was like some voodoo thing going on. I don't know what was going on, maybe some bad karma for not paying attention in class, but it kind of just froze, and I immediately exited my position as soon as I had to close out of Thinkorswim. I was like freaking out because I was like, oh my goodness, what if I'm stopped out or not? And I relogged into Thinkorswim, got back on, which is why I missed my trade station on my actual setup at home, because this probably wouldn't have happened. But I got out right here. My target was VWAP, and my stop was high of day again. Sorry for not mentioning that, but you can clearly see that we took VWAP. It was going to be a nice little scalp, and I just had to take profits early because I was freaked out. My emotions were not in check. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm freaking out. I got to get out of this position before something bad happens. And what do you know? Yeah, so it worked out, and that would have been a nice trade, but it happens. So I would have been up nicely on the day had that worked out, or had the crash not happened. But again, I'm just thinking to myself, when I am finally home from study abroad, or I'm back at my own station, my trading station, I can only imagine what my trades are going to be like. I miss Roblox because I didn't have it pulled up on my monitor. Granted, I'm trading on one laptop with one screen, or just, with, flexible grid and everything. But so it is very hard, and can't catch them all. And the biggest thing to do is just kind of learn from it, review it, and have a buddy look at it. Have someone else have a fresh set of eyes look at it, and maybe you'll see something else too. So hope you guys learned something in this video. Please let me know if you have any questions. I feel like I'm missing something, but maybe I'll include it in the next video if I do see it. But I think that's it. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you learned something and have an awesome rest of your day.